The National Electrical Code, or NEC, addresses the installation of electrical conduits near gas pipes. Article 300.14 focuses on underground installations and outlines specific requirements. Firstly, Article 300.14 states that electrical conduits and cables should not be installed under, through, or within 18 inches, or 450 millimeters, of underground gas pipes. It also prohibits installation within the space occupied by those gas pipes. Secondly, Article 300.14b addresses the crossing of underground gas pipes. It specifies that electrical conduits and cables must cross underground gas pipes at right angles only. When crossing a gas pipe, the electrical conduit or cable must be protected with a minimum 2-inch, or 50.8 mm thickness of concrete or an approved protective covering. This covering should be capable of preventing contact with the gas pipe in the event of any soil movement or settlement. Article 334.15 details locations where certain types of conduits are not permitted. Specifically, Article 334.15b prohibits the underground installation of rigid non-metallic conduit and fittings. Article 347.2 covers the installation requirements for specific types of conduit. Article 347.2d addresses situations where cables are subjected to excessive temperature in interior installations. In such cases, the cables must be derogated as required in Table 310.15b16 and Table 310.15b17 of the NEC. Article 347.2e states that cables must be installed to protect them from damage. There are additional considerations to keep in mind. The local gas utility may have specific requirements for electrical installations near gas pipes. It is crucial to consult with the utility before proceeding with any work. Provide adequate clearance between the electrical conduit and the gas pipe to prevent damage or interference during maintenance or repair activities. Use materials that are compatible with both the electrical wiring and the gas pipe to ensure long-term safety and prevent corrosion or other issues. Obtain a permit from the local authority before performing any electrical work. This ensures that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations and that it is inspected by qualified professionals. The NEC provides specific guidelines for electrical conduit installations near gas pipes to ensure safety and prevent potential hazards. These guidelines cover various aspects of the installation, including underground installations, clearances, and protective measures. Article 300.14 prohibits installing electrical conduits or cables under, through, or within 18 inches of underground gas pipes or within the space occupied by them. This separation is essential to prevent potential damage to the gas pipe and to minimize the risk of electrical hazards. Article 300.14b addresses the crossing of underground gas pipes. It mandates that electrical conduits and cables must cross gas pipes at right angles. Furthermore, the electrical conduit or cable must be protected with a minimum 2-inch thickness of concrete or an approved protective covering. This protective measure prevents contact with the gas pipe in the event of soil movement or settlement. Article 334.15b restricts the use of rigid non-metallic conduit and fittings for underground installations. This limitation aims to ensure the durability and safety of underground electrical systems. Article 347.2d addresses the derogating of cables when subjected to excessive temperature in interior installations. This requirement ensures that the cables can safely handle the electrical load without overheating or causing a fire hazard. Article 347.2e emphasizes the importance of protecting cables from damage during installation. This protection helps to maintain the integrity of the electrical system and prevent potential hazards. Consulting the local gas utility is crucial to identify any specific requirements for electrical installations near gas pipes. These requirements may vary depending on the local conditions and regulations. Adequate clearance between the electrical conduit and the gas pipe is essential to prevent damage or interference during maintenance or repair activities. This clearance ensures that workers can safely access and work on both the electrical and gas systems without causing harm. Selecting compatible materials for both the electrical wiring and the gas pipe is vital to prevent corrosion or other issues. This compatibility ensures the long-term safety and reliability of both systems. Obtaining a permit from the local authority before performing any electrical work is a standard practice. This permit ensures that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations and that it is inspected by qualified professionals. When installing an electrical conduit near a gas pipe, several key considerations must be taken into account to ensure safety and compliance with the National Electrical Code, or NEC. These considerations include clearance requirements, material compatibility, and protection methods. The NEC provides specific guidelines for the minimum clearance required between electrical conduits and gas pipes. These clearances are designed to prevent accidental contact between the two systems, which could lead to electrical hazards or damage to the gas pipe. It is crucial to adhere to these clearance requirements to ensure the safety of the installation. The materials used for both the electrical conduit and the gas pipe must be compatible to prevent corrosion or other adverse reactions. For example, using dissimilar metals can lead to galvanic corrosion, which can weaken the materials and compromise the integrity of the systems. Therefore, it is essential to select materials that are compatible with each other. The NEC also outlines various methods for protecting electrical conduits that cross gas pipes. These methods include encasing the conduit in concrete or using a protective sleeve to prevent direct contact between the two systems. The specific protection method required will depend on the location of the installation and the potential risks involved. In addition to the NEC requirements, local codes and regulations may also apply to electrical conduit installations near gas pipes. It is essential to check with the local authorities to ensure that the installation complies with all applicable requirements. Consulting with a qualified electrician or engineer is highly recommended when installing electrical conduit near a gas pipe. These professionals can provide guidance on the specific requirements that apply to the installation and ensure that the work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. When running electrical conduit near gas pipes, safety should be the top priority. Gas leaks can be extremely dangerous, leading to explosions or asphyxiation. Electrical sparks can ignite gas leaks, creating a serious fire hazard. Therefore, it's essential to take precautions to minimize the risk of gas leaks and electrical sparks. Firstly, always shut off the gas supply before working near gas pipes. This will help to prevent accidental gas leaks. Secondly, use non-sparking tools when working near gas pipes. This will reduce the risk of electrical sparks. Thirdly, inspect gas pipes for leaks before starting work. Use a gas detector or soapy water to check for leaks. If you detect a leak, do not proceed with the work. Call a qualified gas technician to repair the leak. When installing electrical conduit near gas pipes, follow the NEC guidelines for clearance and protection. These guidelines are designed to prevent accidental contact between the electrical and gas systems. Use compatible materials for both the electrical conduit and the gas pipe. This will prevent corrosion and other adverse reactions. Obtain a permit from the local authority before performing any electrical work. This will ensure that the installation complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Consult with a qualified electrician or engineer if you have any questions or concerns about the installation. These professionals can provide guidance on the specific requirements that apply to the installation and ensure that the work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Electrical conduits and gas pipes can be safely installed near each other if proper precautions are taken. By following the NEC guidelines, using compatible materials, and consulting with qualified professionals, you can minimize the risk of hazards and ensure a safe installation. Remember that gas pipes must be handled carefully and electrical equipment can be dangerous. Always follow the proper safety procedures and wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Here's a more detailed look at some of the specific requirements and considerations when installing electrical conduit near gas pipes. The NEC specifies minimum clearance distances between electrical conduit and gas pipes. These clearances are designed to prevent accidental contact between the two systems. The exact clearance requirements will vary depending on the voltage of the electrical system and the type of gas pipe. In general, the higher the voltage, the greater the required clearance. The NEC also specifies methods for protecting electrical conduit that crosses gas pipes. One common method is to encase the conduit in concrete. This provides a physical barrier between the conduit and the gas pipe. Another method is to use a protective sleeve around the conduit. The sleeve should be made of a non-conductive material that is resistant to damage. When selecting materials for electrical conduit and gas pipes, it's important to consider their compatibility. Dissimilar metals can react with each other, causing corrosion. For example, if you use copper conduit near a steel gas pipe, the copper can corrode the steel. To prevent corrosion, use compatible materials or isolate the materials from each other with a non-conductive barrier. Local codes and regulations may also specify requirements for electrical conduit installations near gas pipes. These requirements may be more stringent than the NEC guidelines. It's important to check with the local authorities to ensure that your installation complies with all applicable requirements. Before starting any electrical work near gas pipes, it's essential to obtain a permit from the local authority. The permit process ensures that the installation is reviewed by qualified inspectors and that it meets all applicable codes and regulations. A qualified electrician or engineer can provide guidance on the specific requirements that apply to your installation. They can also help you select the appropriate materials and protection methods. Hiring a qualified professional can help ensure that the work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Before working near gas pipes, always shut off the gas supply. This will prevent accidental gas leaks. Use non-sparking tools when working near gas pipes. This will reduce the risk of electrical sparks. Inspect gas pipes for leaks before starting work. Use a gas detector or soapy water to check for leaks. If you detect a leak, do not proceed with the work. Call a qualified gas technician to repair the leak. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses and gloves. This will help protect you from potential hazards. Follow all safety procedures carefully. This will help ensure your safety and the safety of others. In addition to the above considerations, it is important to be aware of the potential hazards associated with working near gas pipes. Gas leaks can be extremely dangerous, leading to explosions or asphyxiation. Electrical sparks can ignite gas leaks, creating a serious fire hazard. Therefore, it's essential to take precautions to minimize the risk of gas leaks and electrical sparks. Firstly, never smoke or use open flames near gas pipes. Secondly, avoid using electrical equipment near gas pipes unless it is specifically designed for use in hazardous locations. Thirdly, if you smell gas, evacuate the area immediately and call the gas company. When installing electrical conduit near gas pipes, it is also important to consider the potential for future maintenance and repairs. Ensure that the conduit is installed in a way that allows for easy access to both the electrical and gas systems. This will make it easier to perform maintenance and repairs in the future. Furthermore, consider the potential for future changes to the electrical or gas systems. If you anticipate that the systems may need to be modified in the future, install the conduit in a way that allows for flexibility. This will make it easier to make changes to the systems without having to relocate the conduit. Finally, document the installation thoroughly. Keep records of the location of the conduit, the materials used, and any special precautions that were taken. This documentation will be helpful for future maintenance and repairs. When working near gas pipes, always err on the side of caution. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation, consult with a qualified professional. It is better to be safe than sorry.